Canada is often considered a free of open country when it comes to entertainment. But today, just for fun, we're going to do a quick recap of the list of non pornographic or non X films that were banned in Canada from 1916 to current day. Now, some of these movies would be award winners or recognized as classics, but in certain parts of Canada were not appreciated at all. Now, in 1916, damaged goods was banned in Ontario. 31, the Edward G. Robinson movie Little Caesar was banned in Alberta, BC, and Nova Scotia because of content. The award-winning Life of Emile Zola in 37 was banned in Quebec, but has been available in Quebec since 97 with the G rating. In 39, Tugs with Dirty Mugs was banned in Winnipeg because censors felt the film was just an excuse to show criminal activity. It's available in Winnipeg on DVD as part of the Looney Tunes Golden Collection Volume 3. Now, two big movies in the mid-40s, Scarlet Street and Wicked Lady, were banned in New Brunswick. Forever Amber in 47 was banned in Quebec, but has been available there since 94 with a G rating. Now, in 53, the Marlon Brando movie The Wild One, Alberta, BC, and Quebec banned the film. It's been available in Quebec from 68 to 2013 with a 14-plus rating, and since 2013 with a G rating. 56, the controversial Baby Doll was banned in Alberta in 1957. 63, the Academy Award-winning Tom Jones was banned in Alberta. After 2 years, the decision was reversed and was allowed to be shown. In 66, 67, the Oscar winner Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf was banned in Nova Scotia when censors called it obscene and blasphemous. After an appeal from distributor and media coverage, the decision was later reversed and the film was released with a restricted rating. In 67, Warrendale, Manitoba banned the film due to language. However, due to the public outcry, the decision was reversed. In 68, the Franco Zeffirelli Romeo and Juliet was banned in Ontario. In 1970, two movies were on the list. Oneo Koto, the National Film Board of Canada, blocks the release of Denis Arcand's controversial documentary. An edited version is released in 76, but the original unedited version was not released, get this, until 2004. In 1970, the Oscar-winning Women in Love banned the film in Alberta due to nudity. Now, Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange in 71 was banned in Alberta, Nova Scotia. Alberta reversed the ban in 99, and the Maritime Film Classification Board has also reversed the ban. Board jurisdictions now grant an R rating to the film. Now, the John Waters movie Pink Flamingos in 72 was edited in numerous provinces, with Nova Scotia banning it outright till 97. In 73, Heavy Traffic was banned in Alberta. In 74, Alberta also banned the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but in 1975. In 76, Blood-Sucking Freaks was banned in Ontario when classified for videocassette release. In 76, In the Realm of the Senses was banned in Ontario because the censors deemed it contained degradation, explicit and prolonged scenes of sexual activity, undue emphasis on human genitals, and its representation of a person under 16 in sexual contexts. Now, in 78, the controversial Brooke Shields' Pretty Baby was banned in Ontario and Saskatchewan on the basis of scenes in which Shields, then age 13, was photographed in a nude. The ban was repealed in 95. Now, Faces the Debt, the versions from 78 to 96, were banned in Ontario and BC. Now, 79, Beneath the Valerie of the Ultra Vixens was banned in Nova Scotia. And, of course, the big ban was Caligula. It was banned by all provinces except Quebec, which gave it an 18-plus rating. Edited versions were later passed. The 156-minute unrated version was passed in BC by the BC Film Classification Office and was rated restricted with a warning. It has subsequently been reevaluated and approved with an R rating in the Maritimes and Ontario, despite the heavy pornography in the movie. Now, the Oscar winner, The Tin Drum, was edited and later banned outright as child pornography by the Ontario Film Classification Board. Not a Love Story, the feminist documentary critique of the pornography industry, was itself banned in Ontario for its pornographic content, although that decision was ultimately reversed. Now, Beaupère in 81 was a French film about a man having sex with a minor, was banned in Ontario. Now, in 81 also, The Best of Sex and Violence was banned in Ontario in 1986. And, of course, the controversial movie I Spit in Your Grave was banned in Nova Scotia until 1998. And, of course, Troma's The Toxic Avenger in 84 Ontario censors banned the film after only watching the first 40 minutes due to graphic and prolonged scenes of gratuitous violence, torture, crime, cruelty, horror, rape, degradation of humans and animals, and exploitation of the blind and children, as well as indignities of the human body in an explicit manner. A softer version, missing a lot of the gore, was passed with an R rating after several cuts were made. The horror movie Silent Night, Deadly Night was banned in Ontario in 1987. Now, Day of the Dead, the zombie movie, was banned in Ontario and the Maritimes, with a cut 97-minute version passed in Ontario. The original 101-minute version was resubmitted to the Ontario Film Review Board in 1998 and given an R rating when released on VHS. In 2008, the rating was changed to 14A. The 101-minute version has also been granted an R rating in the Maritimes. 86, Killer Party, banned in Ontario. Now, 86 as well, very controversial by home province. It was banned, Blue Velvet, with, our Oscar-nominated movie, was banned by the New Brunswick Film Classification Board because of its weird, plot. New Brunswick now uses the ratings provided by the Maritime Film Classification Board, which granted an R rating. But at the time, too, the Catholics in Quebec, or the Catholic decency, would sometimes decide what would be shown in parts of New Brunswick. That's another story altogether. And, of course, my favorite movie to see in person at the old Paramount in Campbellton, Hellraiser, was initially banned in Ontario because of brutal graphic violence with bloodletting through horror, degradation, and torture. It was passed with an R rating after New World Mutual agreed to cut 40 seconds of violence. Now, 89 and 93, the Death Scenes video was banned in Nova Scotia, totally. In 92, Dead Alive, the U.S. unrated version is banned in Ontario. However, the heavily cut U.S. R-rated version was approved with a restricted rating. In 92, Tokyo Decadence was briefly banned in Ontario in early 94. The distributor appealed and the censor allowed the film to play only in select venues. Now, Exit to Eden with Rosie O'Donnell and Dan Aykroyd was temporarily banned in 94 by the Saskatchewan Film and Video Classification Board. The controversy surrounding the ban and the film itself ultimately led to Saskatchewan disbanding its classification authority, handing it over to the BC Film Classification Office in a 97 bilateral agreement. Now, Bezoar, or Kiss Me, was banned in Ontario in 2000. The ban was lifted in 2001, with the film being passed with a restricted rating. In 2001, Fat Girl was banned in Ontario in 2001 because the censor board deemed the film depicted underage sex. The ban was lifted in 2003 with the film being passed with an R rating. And of course, 2006, the last major controversy, Bum Fights. This series of shot-on-tape reality productions is banned in 7 of the 13 provinces and territories. The remaining give it an R rating. As of 2016, the films are still banned in Quebec, which is pretty tougher. Now, how this basically works, ladies and gentlemen, classification boards in Canada look at the videos, determine what the public can or cannot handle, and if it's not designated what they call pornography or XXX or, do you know what they're getting? But this is something that's available to everybody. Pornography is not available to everybody. But I'll tell you how it works. How it worked in the old Hollywood system, the Catholic Censor Board would determine cuts and stuff like that, or recommend at a time so certain scenes would not be filmed. But back in the day, Nova Scotia and Quebec used to determine the majority of New Brunswick's classification, where the New Brunswick Classification Board didn't have time to review the movie because Nova Scotia and Quebec bordered New Brunswick. So back in the day, you might see a Disney movie be considered PG every place else, like the scenes of The Lion King, but we would consider G and with other classifications. So whatever they couldn't review in New Brunswick, Quebec and Nova Scotia, and sometimes Ontario, would make the decision. So it's quite bizarre. So these are a lot of Oscar and real important classic films. So ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing at our Vintage Podcast channel, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. Movies can get banned, but the fact is anybody can, get a bastard copy and knock it off and pass it around. So it's all a matter of perspective. Thanks for listening. Bye.